Good afternoon, everybody. So I wanted to kind of spend a little bit of time real quick going over a couple things, but does anybody have questions for me in terms of the scripts that they've done or the products that they're doing? Skylar, did you pick a product yet for your commercial? I'm going to put you on the spot. What are you going to get? What are you going to do?
It's an Xbox controller.
Noise. Okay, I like the sound of that. Pretty cool. Don't forget, you have to submit your script to me first before you start filming. Okay, very muy importante. So we can get those out and get them done, and then I can approve, give you feedback, all that fun stuff. Giovanni, did I ask you if you picked a product yet?
I sent it to you. It was a pair. It was a shoe.
Yes, Air Force One, right?
Yep.
Boom. Yes. Okay, cool. So yes, I did start looking through those. So I'll tell you what, all I really have for today is I'm going to kind of give you just a little bit. I filmed not even a commercial. I just took raw footage. But I did one real quick. I forgot what I was supposed to bring. But I found some Skittles. So a half-eaten box of Skittles in my bag. So we're going to do Skittles. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat, bring it up, and let me know. So I'm going to spend some time sharing my screen with you for a little bit, and then we'll kind of wrap up hopefully by 1:30 today. I'm also gonna, I know some of my students don't have class tomorrow or Friday or Monday. I think it's Plymouth Whitemarsh. Anywho,
I don't know if I have school on Monday, but I know I do have school on Friday.
really? Okay. So just so you know, I don't have school Friday or Monday. Monday is President's Day. Everybody should have off for Monday. But like I said, please check your, go to your high school's webpage, you know, their classroom site, or, you know what I mean, their main page, and it'll go to their calendar. Actually, I think I could probably do that real quick, just to be sure. So let me jump to the share screen here. I'm going to show you some stuff. Okay. All right. So everybody should be able to see what's going on right now. Let me open up my chat and participants, and we're ready to go. Okay, cool. So for those of you that don't know, this is always a good resource for all of you in case you did not know this was around. If you go to our Central Monco webpage, and it's just good old cmths.org. You got to put the dubs in there. Dub. Okay, so here we are. Now, if you want to keep it, as you can see across my toolbar, I got a ton of bookmarks. Now, instead of typing this in every single time, I don't know if you know this or not, it's really simple. But if you can't see, if you can't see any of this stuff below your bar, you would just go up and do view. Always show your bookmarks bar. See how it's checked? See, if I uncheck it, now I don't have any bookmarks. But I visit the same, 50 sites every day, so I want to have it bookmarked. So cmths.org, all you'd have to do is click on the lock and drag it down, and now you have access to Central Monco's website. I'm just going to delete it because I already have it. So if you go to the Virtual Learning Hub, all of your school calendars should be here. Ta-da! Pick a school, Norristown. So you could go, oh, that's not what I wanted. I thought it was the actual website. They must have changed it. But like I said, you want to make sure you go to the main website. So you would go, so you would want to go to Norristown Area High School. And almost all, I would say all of them have a calendar. You just have to, so here you go, school calendar. And this will tell you Monday, President's Day, no school, okay? So just make sure. See, there you go. I already gave you a present. But you do have school on Friday. So the one thing I always get from students, hey, yo, we got off, we getting out early. Like all I know is my school, but you should always check your school just to be 100% sure. Okay, so moving on. I want to start off by showing you something really cool. The first thing I got from a student, right, was, I can't film a commercial in my room. Is that true? Can anybody not film a commercial in their house? Okay. So to come to me and say, I don't have what I need, I don't have the materials, I can't do this project, maybe you could. So I want to show you something really cool that I found on YouTube, which was on TikTok. But this girl's just a regular student taking a graphic design class. So here you go.
I filmed a commercial in my college dorm. So since my dorm is quite small, I didn't have space to set up my backdrop stand, so I turned my desk into a makeshift set with 2 bed sheets. For this shot, I stuck a lemon slice on a paintbrush, spun it around, and masked it in with a Sprite and Post to make it fly out from behind the can. Here, I cut the can in half and poured water through it to make it seem like the camera was inside the can. Without further ado, here is the final commercial. Get it, boys.
That just made me want Sprite.
Yeah, right. But how cool is that? So now I would honestly say, trying to think of how to ask this question to everybody right now. What do you think was probably what made that commercial a success the way it was? Anybody?
The fact that she used good behind the scenes work.
Okay. So digging a little bit deeper behind that whole concept, how do you think that this ended up being such a really good commercial?
She made it look realistic. Like she sprayed water on the can.
Yeah, so you saw all those details, cutting up the lemon, putting it on a pen. But I would say, and I'll give you the answer, I would probably say the one thing she spent the most time on was the idea, the planning. To be able to go get a lemon, to get a squirt bottle, to cut the can in half, to figure out her backdrop and to get the light and to do, that's a lot of planning. Now, I don't really know anybody that's that good. I mean, maybe you've been in industry for 20 years and you could just kind of whip something like that out. But to be able to come up with a really cool commercial like that takes a lot of planning. And you'll hear me, unfortunately, I kind of beat this like a dead horse. But listen while you watch the commercial. You can't really pull something like this off by grabbing a can of Sprite and just shooting, okay? You have to start at the drawing board, they call it. You have to kind of write out your script. You have to write a materials list. I don't know how many people got lemons laying around their dorm room or, cans of Sprite, probably. So you really kind of have to think about all of the assets and materials that you're going to need to do your project. And look, I get it. Sometimes we all just grab whatever. I jokingly grabbed a box of Skittles and made a really quick little thing with it. But you can, when I show you the footage, you're like, yeah, that guy just threw a box of Skittles on the table and filmed it. But what you kind of need to understand is you never really want to shortchange yourself on the process. Okay. Like it might take you, probably took this person and probably a good hour, maybe 2 to film all that. And geez, I probably would have ended up in the hospital just cutting the can in half. But it's all about that planning and preparation. So if there's anything you kind of get from what I'm telling you right now, trust, I keep saying it, but trust and use that process. It's called the creative process. There are certain steps to accomplish and make things happen. And if you shortchange yourself and you just grab a random product and film it, ultimately you're not going to be happy with it and you're just submitting it to get a grade. So, but if you go up against, now I could guarantee you there's going to be more than a couple students in this class that are creative like this individual. So when you're applying to the same school that person's trying to get into, who do you think they're going to pick? So, try and keep those things in mind. We're not giving you work just to do work. This is to help you kind of explore your creativity. And if anything, it really kind of teaches you that you're not limited. You're not as limited as you think you are. Everybody's got a glass. Everybody can get access to a lemon, write it on the grocery list. You know what I mean? Or a lime or whatever. It doesn't matter. But when you ultimately start off by saying, well, I can't do this. I don't have that kind of light. She has this professional ring light in the background. Well, most people have a lamp or they have a light over their head, and you can position the table over the light. Is it going to look as good? Maybe, maybe not. Yes. And here's something crazy. You see this square light here, everybody? You see that? That thing, we have 5 of those. They're like 30 or 40 bucks. So there's nothing wrong with investing in your education. And look, I get it. Some of us, you know, I'm not wealthy by any means, but if you have a birthday coming up or a holiday coming up, start making a list on Amazon. Say, yo, this is what I would really love. And this light actually fits on a tripod, fits on a camera. They're really, really cool. Ring light, same thing. Place where I go get my hair cut, the girl's got a ring light set up, and whenever a customer has a really nice hair job that she did, she has him sit under the ring light. You would think a professional photographer shot it. It was her and her busted up iPhone 8 with a really nice ring light. So if there's one thing that you can kind of learn from this, lighting, of course. Photograph comes from a French word, but meaning painting with light, photographique. But it's if you don't have good lighting, you're not going to have good images. You're not going to have good video. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out and spend all this money. You can have a flashlight. You can have a headlamp. You can have the light on your phone. There's a lot of different things. But like I said before, please try to think photographically and how things are going to be lit. Okay. And, you know, she had a pen and a lemon and pulled off a really sweet commercial. And this is something we'll end up doing in the program. So we'll probably end up doing it over again, but you're going to have access to all that equipment. So this is a nice way to kind of introduce you to it. Okay. So moving on, I took this goofy footage right here with my iPhone before class, and I'll just kind of show it to you real quick. And it's just me holding a box of Skittles.
I'm sitting here and I'm filming some Skittles. Check out these awesome Skittles. Hey, Skittles. Down. Skittles. Some Skittles out. Look at those amazing Skittles. Zoom in on some Skittles. What are you doing?
So what does everybody think? Did that come out awesome or what? Probably some of my best work. I'm not gonna lie. So as you can see, I literally threw stuff on the table. So could I still make a reasonably decent commercial with that? Yes, it's just gonna take time. Now, had I sat down, thought about the shots, the angles, what materials and things I'm gonna need, it's gonna be a much better commercial. But I did not create this to show you camera angles. I created this to show you a couple basic things. So if I want to drag this into iMovie, okay, so I'm going to hit create new, a new movie, and I am going to import that video from my desktop. Okay. So now I have some footage here, right? And could I go online? So let's spend a little time, shall we? Let's figure out. Please jump in at any time if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, but let's go here and think about finding some pictures of some Skittles, okay? So let's go to images. Now, don't forget, I covered this before, and I went over this morning with a couple of students that were here. If you go to images, you have all these Skittle pictures, great. If you go to tools, and if you didn't know this, you go to tools, you go to size, and you go to large. This will definitely narrow your options of how many things you're going to find, but you're going to have much better quality images. The one thing you don't want to do is find this junky little picture, and it's going to be all pixelated in your video, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's say, ooh, there's a big bin of Skittles. So I like this picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag this to my desktop. I really like that picture. Yay, Skittles. You know, here's another bag of Skittles. There's a big one. So as you can see, the one thing you don't want to do, this is the, where did I grab that from? So let's say I want this picture here, right? I do not want to drag this picture over for my finished piece, okay? Please pay attention to this. So watch the difference. Hey, this is my Skittles. This is the one I want. I'm going to drag that over, okay? Then I'm like, oh, well, once I click on the image, this big one shows up. I'm gonna drag that over. Okay. So let's take a look at the difference. If I were to double click on this thing of Skittles, right? See the size of that? Because I grabbed the thumbnail. When you load up a Google page and it shows you all these thumbnails, that's the thumbnail size. So you saw me actually go and click on the bigger picture. Now look at the difference in the size. Okay. Big, big, big difference. So sometimes you'll drag pictures over and go, man, this looks way better on the screen. It's because you're probably not dragging the right one over. Okay, so I'll show you that one more time. When you go and search for something and you're on the Skittles page here, you do not go and just click and drag this to your desktop. You wouldn't do that, okay? You would actually go find that image, click on it. There's the big one. I actually like to do right click and save it. So you do save image as, and then you save it to your folder, okay? So I already have that on my desktop. Does anybody have questions about that? Does everybody kind of understand what I just showed you? Okay. Skylar's like totally excited right now. I know. I can tell. All right. So now that I have that, I have my images on my desktop. So one of the first things I should have done, what is the problem right here, everybody? What do you see? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? What do you see other than this big gray area?
Pictures.
Yes, but what does it look like? Does it look like it's right? What should I
No.
have done? What's the first thing I should have done?
Add a folder.
Yes. Good man. So the first thing you should do whenever you start a new project, and myself as well as Mr. Folk will beat this into your heads verbally, is you have to make sure you organize your work in a structure that makes sense. So I would go new folder. Okay. My initials are FM, like the radio, underscore 30-second commercial. So for some reason, if you're in class, you're like, oh, Mr. McCarthy, can you go on my laptop and look at my 30-second commercial? I'm not going to go and just see this giant mess of files all over your desktop. First of all, I won't even go on there. You need to keep your stuff structured because especially if you're fortunate enough to work at a graphic design or a video company, you're going to be working with multiple people, right? And you're going to have a structure that makes sense, because if Deshaun is working with Alex and then they're sending stuff over to Josh, they have to be able to know where the folders are, how they're located, how they're labeled, and if they make sense. It makes, right? So when you create a project, the first thing you do is you make a folder, okay? And then you just drag everything over that is related. Now, when you start here, I would even do, when you'll see next year, some students go crazy and do, so I even create a folder just called video sound on my desktop because, I go to my regular high school, I have all these other classes, but you'll have video sound. And some people, the way you should have this organized, and I'll do a video on it, is you should have marking period 1. Let's just say we're on marking period 3. You should have a folder called third marking period, first marking period, second marking period. Drag it into here, and then you'll have more stuff that would say videos, photos, sound. So eventually you're going to have all of this stuff, and it seems confusing, but it's not, because you can go through a year, 2 years, 3 years, a week. You can change the colors of the folders. You can right click, and it doesn't change the color of the folder, but change the color of the writing, or a dot, puts a dot next to it, which personally I miss the fact that it would color the folder. See right here, there it shows the colors. Back in the day, it used to actually change the whole folder. I wish you could still do that. But you can color code, but eventually this is going to go under video, so it would live in here. So let's start back at the beginning. I have this folder, and then I'm going to look and see marking period 3, photo, video, sound, and then here's your 30-second commercial. So there's all your stuff. Okay. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot at you, but it is very important that you keep this stuff organized, especially when you're back in class. So now that I have that, I'm going to move this off to the side. I'm going to open this back up, and I have my Skittles commercial. And I'm going to drag this picture over. Okay, so now I have a couple of pictures and some video. So what you want to start doing is, and I'm just showing you some basic things and we'll kind of wrap it up. But if this is my commercial, I'm going to drag it down in here. Why don't we just mess with the footage first? So I can zoom in here and really kind of dig in to the footage. And the first thing you want to do, obviously this is not the audio for my commercial.
Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm filming some Skittles. Check out these awesome Skittles.
So I don't want that audio, okay? So I just want to get rid of it. So in order to do that, I can click and do a right click on it and do detach audio. So check it out. Now they're separate entities. So this is just the audio and just the video. So let's just get rid of that audio right now. So now if I hit play, there's no sound, okay? So that's the first thing. Next is you might want to say to yourself, well, this is cut number 1, and then I turn the box, that's cut number 2. Then I did this on purpose. I laid my phone on the table. I don't want that. So let's say this is my first cut right here. And I'm going to end it right, oh no, right here. Actually right there. I can actually see the line. I can right click, okay? And I can do split. And see what it did? It split the clip. So now I have this clip, which fades over into this clip. Now you don't see anything, but let's put a transition in there, okay? We can drop this in here. Let's see what I did. And then it should just fade into the next piece. So just because you took one long video doesn't mean you can't break it up into separate pieces. So why don't we go here and say, well, I don't want that light. So we'll end this. I want you click and then you hit the space bar to play it. So I want to go back right here. And then I'm going to right click, split it again, take this, split it again. Wait. Split it again. And obviously I don't want this. So I can delete it. Okay. So if that's starting to make sense to you, so let's say I also want to split it right here. So now I have opportunities to add things because now my clips are all broken up in different pieces. Any questions right now? You good? We're all good. We're all awake. Awesome. So now I can say, well, let's go back to my media and I want to put this bag in here. I want to put this content. Well, obviously this does not make sense to anybody. I'm just trying to show you where you can insert photos or other clips or anything else if you want to do that. So now my commercial is 24 seconds. And now I need to say to myself, well, I need to find some music, right? So now I can just as easily start to say to myself, okay, let's open up GarageBand, choose, record using a microphone. With this stuff we've already gone over. And you can open up your loops. Turn off my metronome. So you can just go and start picking, drag that over for now. So there's that. And then let's just find some beats real quick. I'm just going to make 2 things. I'll put that here. And then I can make this song. Obviously, it's not the right length. So I can just keep stretching this to make it 24 seconds or whatever it ends up being. Same thing here, click down here. Come on, bro. This thing's giving me a hard time. There we go. So if I hit play, So I just create a very simple, basic beat, just enough to show you what's going on. So now I'm going to select all that. Then I'm going to go File, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, Share, Export Song. Now there's a couple of different ways you could do it. I'm just going to call this Skittles beat. Okay. And it's going to be an MP3. So I'm going to save that to the folder that I made, right? Video sound, marking period 3. And I'm going to go to video because it's going to be part of my commercial. 30-second commercial, export. Okay. So it should be getting close to done at that point. I'm going to collapse this. And now I can go audio. This will bring in anything that you have from, whoops. This will bring anything in that you have on iTunes or anything like that. But check it out. You could also go from Garageband. I did not save it where you can access it from Garageband, but you could. Honestly, you could just go. I'm trying, this thing's in my way. Import media. So there's my sound. Sound always comes up as green. Did everybody understand what I just did? All I did was save the MP3 to my folder, and now I imported it. So how do I make all that work? I'll zoom this out a little bit. Actually, I'll do something at the beginning, for example. Titles. I'll drag that over here. And then go, dang it. Okay, so Skittles. So you're just trying to get this whole thing laid out. And let's say I want something at the end. Does anybody know the tagline for Skittles?
Discovered a rainbow, taste the rainbow.
That is correct. Steve, you are killing it today. Okay, so we're going to put Skittles at the end. Dang it. Hold on. All right. So you can pick whatever color that you want, doesn't matter. Let's do that in an obnoxious color of pink. It's not actually easy to read, but you would want to make sure that your title is, maybe at the bottom or something. And my clip's not even oriented right, but I'm trying to just show you the quick and easy way of how to kind of lay this stuff out. And then really, that's kind of it. Whoops. All right. So we'll go back to the beginning here, right? And now we can go back to media, drag that song over, see, it goes underneath. And make sure it's long enough. I actually was pretty close. So I can just take this and drag it back to here. And now I got my commercial. Now, this does not make me want to buy Skittles because it's a pretty horrible commercial, but for the purpose of showing you how to split up your clips, how to use titles, how to use transitions, I honestly think the girl that did the Sprite video didn't really use anything much more, because really, what did she have in there? Music, titles, and that's it. So there's no reason you can't, pull the same thing off. With your MacBook. And I know, Alex, you said you don't have one, so I'm not expecting you to go to the same level of ability, but I would like for you to try and come in next Wednesday, hopefully, and pick up that laptop. So you need to reach out to me about that. But that is really kind of the nuts and bolts of it, is going in, having a plan, figuring out what you want to do, and then when you're done, you export it out. Okay. So that's what I had. So if you haven't done it yet, you should hopefully have your project in mind and your script and you submitted it. Now, there's nothing wrong with sitting there and then just going like this. Take a look at the box. How would you want it filmed? What are the colors of the box? Are there colors that won't go with it? Green probably would not go well with this. Go through the box of Skittles. There's a couple gnarly ones in here. So you want to get rid of those. You want to be really aware. Like I used to do food photography. It was one of my favorite jobs. We would shoot stuff for Hershey's chocolate. And if we had chocolate chips and they were wrong or dented or scratched or whatever, we got to eat them. But imagine going through 150 Hershey's Kisses to get 3 good ones that were perfect by their standards. So make sure when you're shooting your product, there's no blemishes or a price tag or a sticker or dirt. Keep those things in mind. Those are easy things that you can control, but they're also things you can get dinged on for points. If you're going to show me, Giovanni's doing the sneaker and he does a really cool bottom view and there's dog poop on it, probably not going to give him a good grade with dog poop. All jokes aside, make sure your product looks good, it's clean. You figure out what angles using the, I sent the links out in Schoology to show you that the different videos, the links to the school website, to our classroom website to show you all the different camera angles and stuff too. So that's what I had for today. Does anybody have questions real quick on any of that stuff that I covered? So I would highly recommend, I think you know what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to save this video and I'm going to post it again this afternoon. So please make sure you go on and watch this video again, pause it, try the things that I've shown you, and try and put that commercial together for next week, okay? Okay, questions, comments, concerns? If you need to stick around, let me know. Alex, please email me tomorrow, okay? And we will coordinate a time. Everybody else good? Happy? All right, man. Another great job. All right, well, everybody else have a great day. And tomorrow will be the last class until like next week. So if you have any questions or anything, concerns, whatever, come with them tomorrow. If you could actually bring your product tomorrow, because you're usually the same ones that show up, bring your product tomorrow and show. I would love to see it, okay? So let me know, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow, okay? Awesome. All right, y'all. Have a great day.